Your grandson is going to have a very bad time, and I even have narco friends who can do things to you, so you better calm down, because I have many friends.
The voice we just heard belongs to Marianne Gonzaga, an influencer girl who has been in the eye of the storm since the beginning of February. But not exactly for this audio, which could have been, let's say, a warning of how dangerous she was to society. In reality, she did something much worse. Valentina Gilaverde, just 18 years old, has experienced firsthand the brutality of this girl, and now her life hangs by a thread. How far can a person driven by jealousy go then? How far can that visceral and destructive feeling take us? Well, I'm gonna tell you about this in today's video. First, let me tell you a little about Marian. She's a Mexican influencer who has had, let's say, a certain rise through social media in recent times. Thanks to the content she shares on her Instagram account, which has 162,000 followers.
Today we went to Ma's pediatrician. I visited the Two-Faced stands today.
On this platform and on TikTok, with 372,000 followers and nearly 20 million likes, fans have been able to be close to their day-to-day, which stands out before the fact as he boasts his outfits to followers. In addition, she described herself as a mommy blogger because she had become a mother to a girl about a year ago. Marian shared content about motherhood and aspects of her personal life, in addition to posting photographs and videos of her daughter. Also, taking advantage of her popularity, she had a website with a link to a gift registry for her baby and another for her portfolio. She even charged for creating content such as a TikTok video for $1,170, an Instagram story for $415. A day of call was around $590, and she attended an event for $400.
Over the past few months, Marian has been sharing her pregnancy process, her luxuries, and her life in Cancun.
Marian had her daughter, named Emma, at just 16 years old, along with Jose Zahid Becerril. What? A pregnancy at that age? Well, you can more or less figure out where we're going. While the young man was present at the birth of his daughter in Cancun, by that time he was no longer living with Marian, as he resided in Mexico City. Jose Zahid and Marian had a romantic relationship. However, after 2 years of dating, they separated but continued to be linked due to the upbringing of their daughter. After the separation, Jose would have started a relationship with Valentina Gilaverde, which is why we are talking about this story today. It should also be noted that prior to the tragic event, Marian had been the protagonist of a controversy that happened around October of the year 2024, when she pretended to buy a luxurious beach house, valued at 60 million pesos, almost $3 million, which of course she had not actually purchased.
Friends, they've already given us the new house.
The influencer recorded a tour of the property and posted it on her social networks, claiming it was her new home. However, the real owner, the emotional healing coach Ricardo Ponce Herrera, with 2.5 million followers on Instagram, denied the version and stated that this girl entered the property as a potential buyer but took the opportunity to record the video. The conflict escalated when the woman claimed that her mother decided not to buy the property due to alleged criminal records of Ponce, which led the coach to threaten to sue her for defamation. Understanding then a little about Marian's life context, let's go to the day of the events, when she exchanged her life of luxury and comfort for a cold cell.
When Marian's 18-year-old ex-boyfriend met with some friends in the apartment, he was there along with Valentina, the owner of the property, and another friend.
It all started on February 5th, 2025, 5 days ago from when I'm recording this, when Valentina, Gilaverde, and two friends gathered in an apartment, where they planned to spend a quiet night chatting and hanging out among friends, unaware that this tranquility would be shattered moments later. That same day, Marian arrived in Mexico City to see the father of her daughter at the condominium complex where he was with his current partner, Valentina. She went to the property in San Jeronimo, Aculco, Mayor Alvaro Obregon, in the Park Pedregal area. But the influencer entered without knocking or waiting to be welcomed. Instead, she entered the property on her own as she knew the access code because the owner was her friend. It is not known if the young woman tried in some way to rekindle the relationship with her ex or catch him in the act with his new partner. But everything changed when instead of bumping into the father of her daughter, she came face to face with his current partner.
The reason? A jealousy attack upon seeing her ex-boyfriend with supposedly a new partner. Valentina Gilbert, an influencer and model, is a friend of both.
At that moment, Marian went crazy and started a heated argument full of screams that led her to take a sharp kitchen weapon and stab Valentina with it, under the gaze of the only friend who was there at that moment. Meanwhile, Jose was in a nearby store with a friend, unaware of the hell he was about to encounter. Minutes later, the influencer attacked Valentina about 15 times, causing serious injuries to her neck, chest, hands, and face. When the young man returned to the place, it was already too late to stop his ex. Fearing for the life of his current partner, he better ask for help from the police.
With her hands full of blood, Marian left the apartment with the sole aim of hearing.
The officers mobilized to the place and found themselves in a sea of red. A victim on the floor and another woman also covered in red with a knife in her hand. Marian attempted to flee from the authorities, but the officers stopped and apprehended her in Santa Fe, where she was staying with a friend.
She was arrested on Tuesday night for stabbing a young woman with a knife in an apartment in Parque Pedregal, Alvaro Obregon district.
The video of the moment when the influencer was transferred to the public ministry escorted by 2 female police officers quickly went viral. In the images, you can see the aggressor wearing a black jacket, blue denim pants, white sneakers, and her hair down. Also, something that stood out in the video was that for her transfer, the authorities had to handcuff her. Journalist Carlos Jimenez, on the other hand, disseminated on his account images of the sharp object that the influencer allegedly used to seriously injure Valentina Gilaverde. Similarly, he shares a photograph of the place where the attack took place. In the image, a large red puddle on the ground can be seen, which shocked the internet users. Similarly, while Marian was being locked up, Valentina was rushed by emergency services to a private hospital located south of Mexico City, where she was placed in intensive care due to the severity of her injuries. After her arrest, a new controversy emerged as the influencer claimed to be only 17. This detail is not minor because according to the Mexican legal framework, for minors, even in the event of the death of their victim, which hopefully does not happen, the maximum penalty would be 5 years in prison. The law provides protection for minors, which is the case of the accused. And in this sense, the law does not allow for a prison sentence longer than 5 years for the accused, unfortunately. While social media debates about the real age of the influencer and the unfairness of the case, neither she nor her family have issued official statements. The medical evolution of Gilavert will be crucial in determining the final charges and the sentence the influencer could face under the juvenile justice system.
We understand that it can cause a topic of anger in society. This huge gap that in a person who is 17 years old, the penalty would change drastically if they were 18 years old?
Although it is the law of the country, we must not overlook the fact that this not only causes helplessness in the victim's family, but also that the drug trafficker targets minors for recruitment. Because after committing these kinds of totally atrocious barbarities, they quickly get released and can continue working for the mafia leaders.
Of course, we want to set a precedent to eventually enter a discussion to legislate this issue.
Ayrton Marin Becerril, Valentina's lawyer, confirmed that the young woman was intubated and in an induced coma. In turn, the family was asking for blood donors due to the severe injuries, as seen in the post circulating on social media, which, according to this girl's father, they had to place a catheter to release blood and pressure from the internal bleeding caused by the injuries. In the attack, the young woman suffered, as I had already told you, multiple wounds, one of which punctured a lung. But the most risky thing is that apparently there is a possibility of losing a hand, because in the attack all her tendons were cut. The area is, as you can imagine, very damaged, and the doctors are doing everything possible to save it.
Valentina is in a coma, intubated. In the process of surgery, her health condition is stable and her family and friends are asking for help to donate blood.
The victim's defender assured that it was an inhumane and visceral attack. Since the accused today broke into the home where the victim was and attacked her with a stabbing weapon, you might be wondering, who is Valentina and why did this merciless event occur? Little is actually known about her private life, but her name exploded in the search after her name was mentioned in the attack. Valentina Gilabert, or Gilabert, is known for being a model who splits her time between Mexico City and Paris. She was part of the New Icon Models Management Agency, which is based in New York, Peru, Guadalajara, Puebla, and Querétaro. The young woman who was assaulted is the daughter of the photographer Ernesto Gilabert, who worked with Luis Miguel for about 5 years. She is also the granddaughter of Ileana de la Garza, a renowned actress who worked on melodramas like Salome and Sortilegio, and also in important Televisa projects like Mujer, Casos de la Vida Real, which if you're really into soap operas, you surely know it. Her grandmother passed away on January 13th, 2025 without knowing that her relative would suffer the worst of attacks.
Can a woman who stabbed a minor girl 14 times be set free and say that she has the right because she is a minor? Unbelievable.
In addition to her direct relationship with the Televisa interpreter, Valentina is the niece of columnist Armando de la Garza, who shared a video on his social media demanding justice. The uncle accused the prosecutor's office, which he called corrupt, of not making a mistake. Perhaps he was making arrangements to release the aggressor for being a minor.
In this world, no one has the right to commit such heinous
attempts at murder. The man also stressed that if a person commits an act as serious as this, they must be held accountable for it, regardless of age.
The case is being investigated as a homicide. She received an attack of more than 10 stabbings. How will they grasp this? It's significant.
After the unfortunate event, family and friends of the victim have spoken out about it. One of them was Fer Serrano, wife of the footballer Santi Jimenez.
Justice for Valentina Gilabert. Let this not go unpunished. Let no one escape the law.
That's what she wrote on social media. In turn, Jimenez's wife asked the authorities to take action and added that Marian cannot be loose in society. She has 47,000 followers on Instagram and over 248,000 on TikTok. She shares images and videos of her travels around different parts of Mexico and the world on both social networks. After the news went viral, netizens began to dig into the attacker's life. That's how Marian's most recent post on Instagram came to light. In the video in question, she is seen putting on makeup with her best friend. The description of the clip read as follows: "Girl therapy is getting ready with your best friend." The post also reached about 4,000. I like it. But in the comments, there are already those who debate about recent events, polarizing opinion between those who show their support, those who can't believe it, and those who assert that she should be punished for trying to take another person's life. In fact, some comments are as follows to give you an idea.
Well, that girl's therapy was of no use. This was also an attempted murder. Why ruin your life and your baby's life for a man who no longer wants to be with you?
Also, one of the videos that caught attention was the clip uploaded on January 19th, 2025, just 2.5 weeks before the events. In this video, Marianne appears with her ex-partner, the father of her daughter Emma. The clip reads the phrase, "A round of applause for mom and dad because they really broke, Emma was born." This video has been analyzed by internet users as it shows an apparent closeness between Gonzaga and her ex-partner. Although there is no record that the shared image, however, was necessarily from that date. Similarly, on Instagram, Marian deleted most of the photos in which she appeared with her ex-partner. However, she still kept two significant posts. A video from July 7th of the year 2023, where they were seen together on the beach, as well as a series of images from July 26th of the year 2024, in which she shared the birth of her daughter, Emma.
Although most people condemn the aggression against Valentina, a group of Marianne's followers has also taken it upon themselves to attack the victim on her accounts. Many of them justify the aggression and give importance to the couple drama that would have triggered the attack.
Our goal is also to raise awareness in society that these kinds of things cannot continue to happen, because it really is something that if you get on social media, you can't believe.
After the facts were made known in all the media, the situation began to be compared with the case of the influencer Fofo Marquez, who was recently found guilty of attempted femicide when he assaulted an elderly woman after she crashed her car.
Users compared her to the influencer Fofo Marquez, and they asked that she also be judged as attempted femicide.
On the other hand, activist Saskia Niño de Rivera shared her opinion on 10, where she compared the social reaction to this case with that of the influencer who was sentenced to 17 years in prison. Saskia wrote the following,
But it wasn't Fofo Marquez because the networks would be on fire.
Likewise, she delved into that crimes such as femicide not only encompassed men as the possible perpetrators, and said the following,
There are indeed women who commit femicide. Valentina is in intensive care fighting for her life. They brutally cut her body with cruelty and hatred because the aggressor is a woman. Are we not going to say anything?
With this statement, the activist criticized what is considered a double standard in dealing with cases of gender violence, demanding that Marian be judged with the same severity as any aggressor. Also, following her most recent opinion on the case, users on X were quick to react and several of them lashed out at the activist. Here are some examples of the comments that were posted.
No, Saskia. Marian's issue is very serious. I don't see people defending her. On the contrary, she deserves to be judged with the full weight of the law. But that doesn't make Fofo Marquez's case any less important. Oh, why compare with Fofo Marquez and further polarize the gender gap? Social media discussions are indeed focused on justice. It's national news. With all due respect, Fofo is not a saint. He's not to be defended unless you are someone close to him and his family. But that doesn't diminish the fact that whoever attacked Valentina should receive a sentence similar or equal to Fofo's.
On the other hand, the Attorney General's office has initiated a formal investigation against him, initially classifying the crime as intentional injury. On the other hand, Ernesto Gilabert, Valentina's father, denied that his daughter had a romance with Marian's ex-boyfriend and assured that she met him just 2 weeks ago.
Meanwhile, the 17-year-old content creator is accused of intentional injury. Audios have been released where she apparently would have intimidated other people. In fact, in the leaked audio, you can hear Marian's voice advising another person to stop getting involved with her group of friends, as she supposedly had friends, drug dealers, and many contacts with which to harm her.
I'm Marian, and it's not in your best interest to mess with us. I have a problem, and you know it. I've burned a lot of people, so it's not in your best interest that
you're burning this girl?
But well, it's also unknown who that audio was directed to. However, the attitude displayed by the detained woman has drawn attention, as she also posted pictures of herself with phrases like, "One day I feel." Rosario Tierras, referring to the character from the Colombian soap opera of the same name in the story. Rosario, by the way, is a woman who becomes a lethal warrior after growing up in a dangerous neighborhood in Mexico City.
I suggest you back off and have them erase things, or else there will be serious consequences for you. And I even have drug dealer friends who can do things to you, so you better back off because I have a lot of connections.
Similarly, through a live broadcast and a video, the TikTok user Tona Pastrana asserted that in the year 2021, she met Marian as they had the same group of friends, which led her to coincide on more than one occasion. The young woman gave details about this girl's personality, and she confirmed that the now detained woman had violent attitudes towards other women and toxic behaviors with her friends and partner.
During a fight with another woman at Carlos San Charles restaurant in Acapulco. In this video, it can be seen that Marianne throws a glass bottle at the other young woman.
The user also said that Marian always boasted that her mother was very liberal and allowed her many things, like going to clubs while underage, dating guys over 25 years old, consuming alcohol, and coming home drunk at 4 in the morning. In addition, she commented that the young woman had been going to clubs since she was 13 years old, thanks to a fake ID.
According to young people who were present and consulted by this space, it would be Valentina herself. That is, they had already had a previous confrontation. These are the images.
The young woman assured that these behaviors in Marian were constant and that usually, when she argued with another girl, she threatened them. She claimed to have contacts with the drug trafficker. And she revealed that she hurt many girls. Similarly, the relationship between Marian and Jose has been the focus of media attention since they started appearing together on social media in July of the year. However, little is known about Jose's personal life, as he maintains a low profile on social media and his Instagram account is private. And although they initially also seemed like a stable couple, their bond deteriorated over time. In February 2024, a year ago, from this arose reports of an alleged incident of violence between them, which Marian reported but later denied. This episode generated speculation about the dynamics of their relationship and the possible conflicts that could have arisen after their separation. However, the news that Joseon-si, Zahid had started dating Valentina Gilabert seems to have been a trigger for this tragic story.
Let this case be punished and justice served. We request the support of Our Lady President Claudia Sheinbaum, our head of government, Clara Brugada.
The victim's lawyer explained that the law provides protection for minors, so Marian could face a sentence no greater than 5 years. The legal representative indicated that the preventive detention requested for the minor is a precautionary measure because it can represent a risk to the victim or obstruct the process. On the other hand, Marian's relatives are seeking her freedom due to her being a minor to move her out. Apparently, they want to take her out to Spain, but Valentina's family hopes that the prosecutor's office does not allow it. Us too. So far, the judge has rejected the request for a trial in freedom. However, according to the law for minors, justice does not allow the aggressor to remain locked up for more than 5 months. So the victim's defense hopes that the trial will start soon.
Meanwhile, Valentina's family is asking that the influencer be tried for attempted murder. The penalties and precautionary measures for this crime would be more severe.
The Attorney General's office has not yet reported under what charges it seeks to blame the influencer. But because they are penetrating wounds, they could be classified as attempted femicide. The victim's family fully trusts in this justice, although unfortunately it's only 5 years in prison. But what do you think would be the fair sentence?
She has gained the media fame she sought, with her face on social networks, though not under ideal circumstances.
Well, finally, my opinion, not asked for but given, is that everyone lost in this situation. In perhaps a sickly jealousy or a moment of madness that was carried away by a visceral anger. On one hand, a baby who will surely grow up without her mom, and on the other, Valentina, fighting for her life and parents suffering. In the end, let's hope justice is served, which, as I mentioned, won't exceed 5 years since he is a minor. And all because of a man and perhaps due to immaturity.
If you have any case that you would like me to talk about, you can leave it here below in the comments, or if not, you can write to me on my social networks. You can find me on Instagram as Pepe Misterio 1010, on Facebook as Pepe Misterio, or if not, there's my email, which is email@pepemisterio. Come, bichis.